my name's Lindsay Monal, and today we're going to be looking at a few different instruments that you can use in a sound meditation experience. So we'll start with some bowls, and we'll start with my first bowl that I received. It's a Tibetan or Himalayan singing bowl, and it's made of metal, comes with a wooden mallet that has a little bit of felt on the end of it. And it has a really beautiful tone that comes out of it. It has a lot of under and upper tones around the sound that really give you this kind of full experience. So I'll give you just a little sample of it here. Right, and you can kind of hear that fundamental frequency as well as those overtones and undertones come out. To play a bowl like this, you can play it on the little ring that comes with it, or you can use these bowls directly in the palm of your hand. If you are using them in your hand, you wouldn't want to curl your fingers because that'll dampen the sound, right? You'll prevent the sound from moving through. So you'll want to keep a nice open palm if you are using them. And you can strike the bowl or sing the bowl, ring the bowl by bringing the mallet around the rim of the bowl. Right, so this is a really beautiful instrument. You can also apply it directly onto the body. If somebody's like lying down, you can place it right on their body. Really beautiful instrument. I had this bowl for like 3 years before I ever bought any other instruments, and this is all I had, and it was wonderful, and it's a great first instrument for you to have if you're interested in incorporating bowls or instruments into your meditation or yoga classes. So that's that one. I haven't expanded my collection. This is the only one that I have at the moment, but someday I will have every single instrument and multitudes of them. After that bowl, and kind of deepening my curiosity around different instruments, I decided to invest in a set of crystal singing bowls. Now, these are a little bit different. They're made of quartz crystal. These are the frosted variety. So they're quite large. They make a very loud, big sound. And they come with a few different types of mallets. So the first is this felt mallet that's like wooden or maybe plastic on the inside and then has felt around it. And then there's also these wooden mallets that have a rubber ball on the end. And so these can make two different tones based on whichever mallet that you use. So again, same kind of technique here, going around the mouth of the bowl. You get that kind of more soft tone with the rubber, or with the mallet with the felt on it, it'll make kind of a scratchy sound. Right, so can you hear that scratchiness? You can also strike these bowls, and again, hear the difference between the frosted strike and the rubber strike. Right, so I had these bowls for a while as well, and really love these for using in a yoga studio. These are most common, what you'll see, like probably these two varieties in a yoga studio to start incorporating into your classes. And again, you don't need a lot of instruments to have a great sound meditation experience. It's just all about how you play them and how you create the experience for your students. But even 1 or 2 or 3 bowls is enough to create a meditation experience. So those are the crystal bowls. And then lastly here, I've got a set of crystal alchemy singing bowls, which these are kind of just baked at a higher temperature, and that's what gives them their clear look. They also are infused with crystals and therefore a little pricier. And these come with a rubber mallet, kind of similar to this felted mallet, but it's hollow on the inside, a little bit harder plastic, and then the rubber around the edge. And these, I find that they make just a really kind of pure, high tone sound. So you can hear it kind of come through here. And just to give you a taste, both of these bowls are tuned to the note of D. And so to give you an idea of how they might sound different, here's the crystal alchemy bowl. And then here's the frosted bowl. I could even do it with the same mallet here so you kind of get a better sense. right? So just a little bit sharper on this one, right? A little bit more bright of a sound, in my opinion. But again, this is all really up to your own intuition and decision around what kind of bowls or instruments you'd like to invest in. I really like the sound of these Himalayan bowls with the metal kind of like fuller, like older tone almost that they give you, right? This kind of classical sound. Whereas these crystal bowls were developed really around the 80s, so they're much newer and just a different experience, right? So it's really up to you on what you prefer and just following your preferences when it comes to buying instruments that you're going to use and love for a long time. So the crystal bowls are primarily what I use in my sound meditation classes and experiences. But along the years, I've also added a few other instruments into my collection in order to round out the experience and really make it an immersive journey for my students. And so today, this next instrument we're going to look at is an ocean drum. Here is our ocean drum. So this I ordered from a woman on Etsy in Greece. It's from the brand Clio Drums. It's made of goat skin and has a really beautiful ribbon wrapping around it. It's of Artemis, which is a Greek goddess. And I really love this instrument. So basically what's happening inside of here are there's little metal beads that will hit against each other and create this really beautiful ocean-like sound. When the drum is played softly, it can feel like really soft, gentle ocean waves, or you can play it a little bit more quickly and it can feel like an immersive wave tsunami coming over you. So I really like this instrument as one to walk around the room in my classes with, or to play just at the front of the space to create that ocean-like sound. I find a lot of people really enjoy the sound of the ocean or just the visual of a beach when they're meditating, so this helps to kind of create that experience. I also do find that this is one of those instruments that people either love or hate. I'll play it in the class and people will always have some type of reaction to it. And just a reminder for you, a sound meditation experience isn't always to necessarily allow people to fully relax and fall asleep, right? The idea is for us to help create an experience where they're able to, in a safe container, go through different points in their nervous system where maybe a sound might activate them a little more and another sound might allow them to settle or relax. And in the experience, they'll have kind of this full range of nervous system regulation and escalation throughout the practice. So this is one of those instruments that I really like for that. And I'll give you a little sample of what it sounds like. So basically it's played by just tilting from side to side. And so this drum can also be played a little bit louder and more aggressively by just swinging a little deeper from side to side. And that's our ocean drum. So our next instrument that we'll look at is a Koshi Chime. So here we've got our Koshi Chime. I've got a cute little dangling dolphin at the bottom. And this one is tuned to rain. So they have different names, different elements that they're associated with. This one's a rain chime. And basically there's it's a chime like any other maybe wind chime that you've seen with different little metal rods inside. And as I swing it around, you'll start to hear this almost lullaby-like sound. And so this is a really beautiful instrument I use often to guide people into or out of a meditation at the beginning or end. A great instrument to also walk around the room with and play over people's heads. Something that you'll note as you're starting to build out your collection is starting to look for instruments that, number one, are portable, right? So the bowls aren't always the easiest thing to travel with, especially these big crystal ones are very sensitive. So having other instruments in your arsenal is really helpful, so that you can travel with them easily and still facilitate sound meditation experiences wherever you go. And so that's why I really love the Koshi Chime. And I'm hoping to get some more of these as well. We'll look at our next instrument, which are a set of Tingsha Chimes. So here are the Tingsha Chimes. These are also a really beautiful instrument for walking around the room or using, I find most often, one-on-one with people. So instead of in a big class or experience with people, you definitely can use these, but I find I use them most often when I'm working one-on-one with somebody else. And so these are pretty straightforward. You just gently bring them together to create a sound. And it resonates for quite a few moments. Really beautiful little instrument. So again, another thing you might consider adding into your practice for the end of a meditation or as a little bell throughout a meditation if you find people are falling asleep or drifting off, or maybe their awareness is kind of drifted. The bell is one of those great things to bring people back to the present moment. So for our next instrument, we're going to be looking at an instrument that has quickly become one of my favorites to use in a meditation experience, and that is the frog. So here is the frog. And this instrument is super affordable. I paid maybe $6 for it, so definitely something that I'd recommend adding into your sound bag. And the way it works, it comes with a little tiny wooden mallet, and this frog has little kind of scales on its back. And as you rub the mallet along the scales of the frog, it makes a frog sound. And I like to play it like that, usually giving like 2 rubs at a time, because I just find that that sounds the most realistic as a frog sound. But this is really a beautiful instrument, especially when I'm playing like the ocean drum or some of the other instruments, to give a more natural type of sound, and remind people of being in maybe a tropical rainforest. Again, another instrument that makes me happy. The frog. And so we'll finish up this video and my little journey through the instruments with a cacho seed shaker that I also purchased on Etsy from a maker in Peru. So here we've got our seed shaker. And mine has a little ribbon on the end of it that you can keep your hand through, or even put it around your foot if you'd like. And this can be played a few different ways. You can use it as a shaker, so sometimes I'll hold it and do a more activating kind of shake. And that really gives you that kind of shamanic journey feeling. Otherwise, I'll often play this instrument by actually just laying it down on the mat or a blanket I'll typically have on the ground, and just gently kind of dragging my hand over it or dragging the seeds across the ground to create kind of a beach pebble type of sound. So that's our seed shaker. And here is my full collection of instruments at the moment, right now. hoping to continue to add instruments to my collection. And as you're on your journey of adding instruments and picking things, I do really encourage you to find the instruments that spark the most joy inside of you, that make you feel the best. Following kind of what sounds good to you will always be the right choice as you work to build out your collection. Thanks so much for joining me on this little adventure. Hope to see you here again soon.